Hello, my name is Dale Wilhite. I live in Mountain Village, Colorado. If you want to find out anything about me, go to MySpace where you have a page. This here is something I'm going to say that I know is going to anger a lot of people, but it's the truth. Uh, I think in the last year or so, we have clearly seen that President Obama does not know how to govern. And I warned people before the election that he did not know how to govern. Now, before I go into this, let me make it clear I'm not too thrilled about the Republicans either. I'm a political independent. I do like Mike Huckabee. That's about the only person I really like. I do like some of the other people. Technically, if I had my way, everybody in Congress would be thrown out, Republicans as well. And I think that we need to start over. Our country needs a new class of politicians, people who are honest, people who tell us the truth, people who are patriotic, and people who follow the Constitution. We don't have that anymore, and it doesn't seem to matter who gets elected. It's no good. Anyhow, here's a little evidence I can provide to prove that Obama does not know how to govern. And I've warned people about this at work and in the community that this man has no experience at putting a budget together. Neither did McCain, and neither does Biden, because neither have ever been governor, so they don't have a clue as to how to put a budget together because they've never been a mayor, they've never been a governor, they've never ever put a budget together. Only person that knew how to put a budget together as a mayor and governor was Governor Palin of Alaska. Here is the proof. Let me just give it to you simple and to the point. Obama has outsourced everything to Congress. The budget was outsourced to Congress to do, and then they sent it to him. The stimulus bills was outsourced to Congress. The health care bill is outsourced to Congress. If this man knew how to manage something, if he knew how to govern something, he would be doing this himself. Just like Bush Jr., Clinton, Bush Sr., Reagan, Carter, Nixon, Johnson, Kennedy, Eisenhower, Truman, and Roosevelt knew how to do. Now, it is true that Jimmy Carter, for his first 2 years of his presidency, did outsource a lot of things to Congress. And then after the second year, he finally realized that this was becoming a disaster. And he took back over. But he learned things then. But Obama does not know how to put a budget together. He had to outsource it to Congress to teach him how to do it for him. That's what he's having to do with everything else. And I'm surprised that nobody in the media has caught on to this yet or even announced this. Like Fox News, I would think the Fox News or CNN might say something about this, but they have not even caught on yet that this is a proof that he does not have the experience to govern. If he did, he would be doing what his predecessor did, George Bush, governing from the White House and sending bills to Congress instead of Congress passing bills there and sending it to him for his signature while he played with his thumbs or something. The people that voted for this guy are at fault, even though I admit they didn't have much of an alternative. With McCain, you don't really know where he stands on anything sometimes. And his family seems to be further to the left than even Obama sometimes, so you wonder how much of an influence his wife and daughter would have on him as president. But this here is proof why so many Americans refuse to vote for somebody who's a senator for president who has no experience. But unfortunately, we had McCain and Obama were the top two who never governed anything, never been a governor or mayor. So we didn't have a choice as to, it didn't make any difference who became president. They've never put a budget together. They don't know how. They may know the outlines of it, they may know how, but they've never actually been in charge themselves. And that's the danger of voting for anybody that does not have experience as a governor or a mayor. You want someone in there that knows how to put a budget together and understands deficits, understands these things. Obama is like a little child who's just been given a new credit card, or a 16-year-old kid with a credit card with an unlimited amount on it and running crazy, running up a huge deficit. And so has Pelosi and Reid. These people are so desperate for power, and they're trying everything they can to hold on to that power. They'll do anything to keep it. Although I think Harry Reid is pretty much finished. And I think the Democrats are in for a really, really rude awakening in November. And so will Obama. And I think the Republicans can take this so-called health care plan and they can kill it eventually, as I hope they will do. We want health reform, or health care reform, but not like this. Not something that they claim is only going to be less than $1 trillion. That means it's probably going to be $3 trillion. And already 100 Walgreens have stopped taking Medicare patients. Keep this in mind. And that's going to get worse. And it's about to get worse if this health care plan passes. Hospice has already shut down one clinic in Arizona, hospital, whatever. And you're going to see a lot of physicians stop taking Medicare patients and Medicaid patients. That shows you that these people don't know what they're doing, you know. But I will admit that there wasn't much of an alternative in the election. And, you know, you would hope that Obama would become another Ronald Reagan, would become very successful at what he was doing. Everybody thought he was going to be smart, intelligent, and bring people together. He's not bringing anybody together. He's dividing everybody. And he just seems to have a contempt for the American Constitution. Because I remember at work some people claiming that, well, Bush was violating the Constitution and he was doing this and he was violating that. Well, Obama's doing the very same thing. Whether it's violating the Constitution or not, he does the same wiretapping. It's still intact. The Patriot Act still exists. He's not doing anything really much different. In fact, last year he wanted to order that he wanted permission or the authority to track American citizens with their cell phones without a warrant. Apparently that just died away. Nobody was going to agree to that. But that just shows you what happens when these people get into power. But a person in there that has no political experience, no managerial experience is dangerous. And this man has become extremely dangerous. And he could literally create a civil war in this country one day. We're not nowhere near it now. And I do not believe in taking up arms. You know, if there are ways we can get rid of him in a peaceful manner. And that's the only way I would agree to it. Unless he called out the troops and tried to force his will on all of us. Then as a nation, as a whole, we would fight back. But not in individual groups like militia groups or anything like that. I still think that we are nowhere near that yet. I hope it never comes to that. I think he can be outed eventually through elections, and I think we can put an end to his reign of terror. Hopefully in November, but it won't be till January that the terror will actually begin to stop. So we've got to endure this reign of terror of his and Pelosi and Reed's for a little longer at least. But it's sad because this man had the opportunity to become a great president, and he's just blown it. He's completely blown it because he doesn't have any managerial experience. And this is a warning to those who vote for people of any party who have no experience in managing things, putting budgets together, understanding what deficits are, understanding what is really happening in this nation. Most of the people in the media don't have a clue about what you and me and what we want and what we're having problems with and what scares us and things like that. They just think they do because they think they're experts at everything when they're experts at nothing. I can only give my personal opinion here because I'm not an expert, obviously, but I've been following politics since McGovern, and I'm 50 years old, and I've been on it ever since 1971. Anyhow, this is proof that Obama is not qualified to govern because he's had to outsource everything to Congress. That's why Pelosi and Reed like Obama, because they knew he didn't have the experience. They knew he was going to have to depend on them to help him how to put a budget together, put the health care together, put anything he wants together, because he doesn't know how, nor does anybody in his administration know how. That's why they like him so much. And that's why you see Pelosi and when he speaks, jumping up and down and clapping her hands, because she now has the power that she wants. With Bush in office or another Democrat in office, they couldn't have this kind of power. But see, Obama is just like Carter was his first 2 years. He's their boy. They've got somebody in there that doesn't know what he's doing. They can take control. That's why Reed and Pelosi love this guy so much, because they have grabbed power away from him, and they've taken it for themselves, and now they're screwing this country up. And I just hope one day in the next election, in either party, or all the parties, maybe not even just a Democrat, but maybe a Libertarian or an Independent will come along and be a true leader, the true leader that we really need in this country, because we don't have any right now. It's a really pathetic state that we're living in, and the media has a lot to do with keeping out good people. That's for sure. Anyhow, this is my proof. This is my evidence. Take it for what it is. You know, you can just have to come up to your own conclusions and decide whether or not this is correct. Thank you for your time.